Good morning, Standard 5. This is your session for English, and in this session, we are going to look for a poem, and the name of that poem is The Dark. Okay, the name of that poem is The Dark. And who is the poet who has written this poem? It is James Carter. Okay, who has written this poem? James Carter. Okay, now if we talk about this poet, you have to know that when was the poet born, which are the mode of his poems which he has written. Okay, so we will see with the introduction of the poet, we will read the poem, we will go for the word meanings and everything. Okay, so first let's have an introduction about our poet of this poem, The Dark, and the poet is James Carter. Okay. Now here it is about James Carter. He is the poet of our today's poem, that is The Dark. Okay. James Earl Carter Jr. was born on October 1st, 1924 at the Wise Sanitarium, now the Lillian G. Carter Nursing Center. Means in 1924 when James Carter was born, in sanitarium which he was born, sanitarium means you can say the hospital, okay, in the sanitarium in which he was born was named as Wise Sanitarium, Sanatari. Okay, that is called an hospital, you can say. So when James Carter was born in 1924 in White Sanitarium, it was named as White Sanitarium, but now it is by the name of Lillian G. Carter Nursing Center in Plains, Georgia. Carter attended Plains High School from 1937 to 1941. Okay, now when did he complete his education? He completed his education at Plains High School, and there he studied from 1937 to 1941. As an adolescent, Carter played on the Plains High School basketball team. Okay, he also played in the Plains High School basketball team. He also joined the Future Farmers of America and developed a long life interest in woodworking. Carter had long dreamed of attending the US Naval Academy. He had also dreamed that he would join the Naval Academy. In 1941, he started undergraduate coursework in engineering and at Georgia Southwestern College in nearby Americus. The following year, he transferred to the Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, and he earned admission to the Naval Academy in 1943. He was a good student but was seen as reserved and quiet. Means he was very quiet. He did not make more mischief or did not talk to more anyone. In contrast to the academy's culture of aggressive hazing of freshmen, Carter was sworn in the 76th governor of Georgia on January 12th. He was the 76th governor of Georgia, and he became the 76th governor of Georgia in 1971. Carter's hobbies now, other than writing poems or literature and these things, what were his other hobbies? His other hobbies were painting, fly fishing. Okay, now what is fly fishing? Fly fishing means it is a one kind of sport, a sport of fishing using a rod or an artificial fly as bait. Okay, using a rod or and an artificial fly as bait. This is called fly fishing. Then woodworking. Fine. What is woodworking? Woodworking means you can say the activity or skill of making out from woods. Means the things which are being made out from woods. You can call it as like making statues out of the woods or furnitures or such kind of things. Okay. So he used to do woodworking, then cycling, tennis and skiing. These were his other hobbies other than writing. He also has an interest in poetry, particularly the works of Dylan Thomas. Now there is much more about James Earl Carter. If you read it, what kind of more things did he do other than writing the poems and books? Okay, he was also interested in politics and all the things are there. But here, as per the duration, whatever important was there, I have told you. Okay, so now let's read the poem The Dark, which James Carter has written for us. We will read this poem, okay, and then I'll explain you. Not standard wise, because the poem is in such a way that you have to listen it. I will explain you fully. Okay. Poem The Dark. Why are we so afraid of the dark? It doesn't bite and doesn't bark. Why are we afraid of the dark? It doesn't bite and doesn't bark, or chase old ladies around the park, or steal your sweeties for a lark. And though a might not let you see, it lets you have some privacy and gives you time to go to sleep, provides a place to hide or weep. It cannot help but be around when beastly things make beastly sounds, when back doors slam and windows creak, when cats have fights and voices shriek. The dark is cozy, still calm, and never does you any harm. In the loft below the sink, it's somewhere nice and quiet to think. Deep in cupboards, pockets too, it's always lurking out of view. Why won't it come out till it's night? Perhaps the dark's afraid of light. Perhaps the dark is afraid of light. Let's read the poem once more and then I'll explain you what is the poem about. Why are we so afraid of the dark? It doesn't bite and doesn't bark or chase old ladies round the park or steal your sweeties for a lark. Okay, now here the poet is trying to say in this first 4 lines that why are we people afraid of the dark? Dark means when there is total blackness, when there is no lights, nothing. Why are we afraid of it? The poet is telling us, why are you afraid of the dark? It doesn't bite you, or it doesn't bark like animals, dogs. Okay? Or chase old ladies around the park and steal your sweeties like a lark, for a lark. What is a lark? Lark is a bird. Okay? Lark is one type of a bird. But here the poet is trying to say that the dark is not doing any harm to you. It is not even giving an example here. The poet is trying to say that it's not chasing like others. It's not chasing the old ladies around the park. It's not stealing things as the human beings do. So what is the reason of getting afraid of the dark? What is the reason? Next 4 lines. And though a might not let you see, it's let you have some privacy. Means if there is light, there is no privacy, right? Because you are seen by everyone. But here, the dark is providing you some privacy. And though a might not let you see, means it's helping you out. It's not letting your privacy come out. It's always big with you. It's not here to damage you. It's not here to scare you, and gives you time to go to sleep. Now it's daytime. It's totally light. Are you going to sleep? No, because as soon as the day arrives, we are awake. But here, the night is helping you to sleep. It gives you a total time of long hours to sleep. So the dark is so helpful to you. And then too you are afraid of it. Provides a place to hide or weep. It also takes care of your emotions. Whenever you are sad, do you go to a public place and cry there, or do you sit in the open place and cry, or take out your feelings and all? No. If you want to hide somewhere, sometimes we are in such a mood that we don't want to sit between everyone. So what do? We need a very cozy place. We need a very alone place to sit, and that place is provided by the dark. If we want to weep also, we search dark places. So here, till now we have understood that the poet is trying to say that the dark is in all the ways. In all the ways, the dark is always helpful to you. Then why are we afraid of it? It doesn't bite, it doesn't bark, it doesn't steal things like others do. Other than that, it only helps you. It gives you privacy, it gives you time to sleep, it provides you place where you can sit lonely for some time if you want. Then why are we afraid of the dark? It cannot help but be around when beastly things make beastly sounds. When back doors slam and windows creak when cats may fight and voices shriek. Means here it's more telling that when there is dark, what kind of things happen. Okay, in that darkness, when there is dark, you will hear beastly sounds. Beastly sounds means some kind of unpleasant sound which is not liked, right? Some kind of unpleasant sound which is not liked. And whenever there is night, at night you must have heard some kind of sounds which you can say frightens you. Okay, but at that time also, here the poet is telling that in that condition also you are not supposed to be frightened from the, scared from the dark. Just think that in such a position, when there are beastly sounds, when there are cats fighting, you hear the cats fighting with each other, when there are such kind of things, at that time also, who is your companion? Who is with you? It is the darkness, it is the dark that is your companion. It does not let you alone. Whether the doors are banging, whether the windows are making creaking sounds. Okay, whether the cats are fighting and while fighting them we are making shrieking voices, at that time who is your companion? It's the dark that is your companion. Being such a good companion, how come you can be afraid of it? Okay, here it poet, now see what the poet is telling. That you always complain of that we are afraid of dark, we are afraid of dark, but in reality the dark is afraid of you. The dark is scared of you. How? The dark is cozy, still calm, and never does you any harm. In the loft below the sink, it's somewhere nice and quiet to think. Now, what is the dark? The dark is so calm and quiet. If you have you ever arrived in a dark? Andhera, it has been told in Hindi. If you go into the dark, you must have seen it is so quiet and so calm at that time. Right? Everything is silent. So here the poet is telling that with such a calm thing, how could you be afraid? Does the darkness harm you? It doesn't, but then too you are afraid of it. In the loft, L-O-F-T, loft. What is loft? Loft means it is a room. Okay. Loft means, loft here you can say it is a room directly under the roof of a house or other building used for accommodation or storage. Okay. Now in the roof, in the loft, loft means in the storage, in the storeroom. Okay. But natural, we don't live in the storeroom, so there may not be much light in the storeroom. Okay. Below the sink, it's somewhere nice and quiet to think. I mean the place in the where is darkness? Darkness is there where there is no light, right? And here the poet has given you some places that darkness lives in such places and it does not harm you. It is so quiet and cozy and calm. It just stays at one side and doesn't harm you at all. Deep in cupboards, pockets too. Means inside the cupboard. When you open the cupboard, it's light. When you close the cupboard, it's dark. It's always lurking out of you. What is lurking? Lurking means waiting and moving in a secret way. Okay, now here the poet is trying to say that the dark also always wants to move out. So it only searches the way how to move out. Why won't it come out till it's night? perhaps the dark's afraid of light. Means, why do you think that the dark only comes when it is night? Because here, the dark, you are not afraid of the dark. The dark is the poor thing which is afraid of the light. Though it lives in very small places like lofts, below the sink, cupboard pockets, everywhere. But it gets afraid when it sees the light. So here the poor thing is not you people. The poor thing is the dark that is afraid, and we are not caring about it. We are only thinking about ourselves, that how we are afraid of it. But we are not thinking as the dark is also afraid of light. Okay, so this is the poem of The Dark. Why are we so afraid of the dark? It doesn't bite and doesn't bark, or chase old ladies round the park, or steal your sweeties for a lark. And though a might not let you see, it lets you have some privacy and gives you time to go to sleep, provides a place to hide or weep. It cannot help but be around when beastly things make beastly sound, when back doors slam and windows creak, when cats have fight and voices shriek. The dark is cozy, still calm, and never does you any harm. In the loft below the sink, it's somewhere nice and quiet to think. Deep in cupboards, pockets too, it's always lurking out of view. Why not it come out till it's night? Perhaps the dark's afraid of light. So, this was our poem of The Dark. I have explained you stanza wise. Now let me explain you in a short summary, so that all in round what does the poet try to say, it would be easy for you to understand, and then we will move for the word meanings. Now here is the short summary of the poem which we have understood stanza wise. Now let us understand the poem in a whole. The poem refers to the flight of the darkness itself, while people emphasize on what way they feel within themselves while being in it. Means here the poet is trying to say about the darkness, and in others he is trying to say that the people are telling that what is their condition when they are in the dark. But have we ever thought about that? What does the darkness feel? You are afraid of the dark. You will tell it that okay, I am afraid of the darkness. There is no light. I can't go in that room, or I can't live in darkness. Okay, but have we ever thought about the feelings of the darkness? It accentuates the fact that it's not the fault of the darkness if the people are scared of it out of the mere fear of the unknown that may exist within. Okay, and what is the fact? Here the poet is telling that the fact is that the people are not afraid of the darkness, they are afraid of the fear of that is within them, an unknown fear. People are afraid of an unknown fear which is within them. It is not the fear of the darkness, because the dark is not doing any harm to them. Though they are in a dark place, the dark is with them. It's not harming them. The thing which is harming the people in the darkness is their own inner fear that is existing within them. Okay? Rather, it's shown that the darkness itself is too meek to save itself from being feared and repelled by the people, as it's the compelling nature of it being in places where the light refuses to show up. Means we had seen some places, cupboards, pockets, loft, and sink, below the sink. So the poet is telling that the darkness itself is too meek to save itself. And because it is a poor thing, afraid from the dark, afraid from the light, it is searching places to hide. So the darkness itself is too meek to save itself. The darkness also is not willing that the people should be afraid of him, being feared or repelled by the people, as its compelling nature of it being. Now, darkness means where could be darkness? Where no light can reach. So it's not his fault, it's the nature of it being in the places where the light refuses to show up. In fact, what the people don't realize is that it rather accompanies them always as a staunch companion. Okay, means here the poet is trying to say that if we see in a true way, if we see, then the darkness is our real companion in the dark, and people are not realizing that. While they are completely unaware of it and busy embracing the light, which is on the contrary abandons them more frequently. Means in the dark you have total privacy, where you can sit alone, where you can cry, where you can bring out your emotions, everything. Knowing the truth, then too people love the dark. They embrace the dark. They embrace the light. On contrary, we know that it is abandoning them more frequently. It is stopping them from doing their private work. It is interfering them in their privacy, you can say. The light is interfering. Then too, we don't realize that our real companion is the dark. Whenever you are sad, what do? You go to a silent room. Sit there, cry, sit alone. But you sit in a dark. Why? At that time you don't like light at all. But then too we are afraid of the dark. It takes into account that darkness contradictorily stays with you in pockets of your attire, in spite of being scared of light. Now the dark is a poor thing here. Not the people are not the poor thing. Because they are not knowing only, they are not realizing what they are losing. But the dark is always with you. It stays with you. Though it is scared of the light, the darkness is knowing that. Consequently, it's the darkness that is the victim of the ignorance, not you people. Because you are scared by the fear in yourself. The darkness is not scaring you. It is the fear of it is your inner fear that is scaring you. Okay, so here the main victim is the darkness, not the people, not you people are the victim. It is the poor darkness that has been ignored by everyone. So people's fear of darkness is just in vain. It's just worthless. It's nothing but only their fear. Okay, so now let's move to the word meanings. Moving to the word meanings, our first word meaning is sweeties. In the poem there is a word sweeties. Okay, what does sweeties mean? Sweeties means sweets, you can say. Okay, sweeties means sweets. Privacy. Now what is privacy? Privacy means a state in which one wants not to be disturbed. Okay, in which one is not disturbed by other people. Beastly means unpleasant. When you don't like something or you are scared of something, then it is called beastly. Next is creak, C-R-E-E-K. A harsh and high-pitched sound. Now here the spelling of the creak should be C-R-E-A-K, but as per the poem it is C-R-E-E-K. Okay. Creak means a harsh and high-pitched sound. Next is shriek. Utter a high-pitched piercing sound or words. I'm sorry. Okay. Now what is a lark? A lark is a song bird with elongated hind claws. Lark is a small bird. Okay. Songbird, a small songbird which is elongated with hind claws. Okay. Now what is cozy? Cozy means which makes you feel comfortable, you can say. Okay. And relaxed. It makes you feel comfortable and relaxed. Lurking. What is lurking? Waiting and moving in a secret way. Means in the cupboard, in this poem, when you open the cupboard, the darkness moves away. Okay, means the darkness is searching some secret place, because when you open the cupboard, the light arrives. Okay, and in that light, the darkness searches a lurking place to hide. And our last meaning is loft, L-O-F-T. What is a loft? A loft, you can say, it is a room or space directly under the roof of a house or other buildings used for accommodation or storage. Okay, so these were the word meanings of today which we have seen. Fine. You have to note down the word meaning. You have to read the summary, because the worksheet which you are going to get for this, you have to fill that worksheet by your own. So you have to take care with the explanation, have to pay attention on the explanation. Okay, so please study well, take care of your health. Till then, bye.